Welcome to Living with Us, ladies and gents. Now, our guest today is Njeri Maria, a 25-year-old with a zest for life. Njeri has backpacked across Europe and Asia when she was only 21, and she did that for an entire year. She's also an adrenaline junkie, a remarkable writer, a social inclusion expert, and this October, she'll be graduating with a bachelor's degree. Now, Njeri Maria also happens to have cerebral palsy. She suffered brain damage due to lack of oxygen at birth during her mother's prolonged labor, and because of that, Njeri has difficulty walking. The condition has affected the movement of her legs and hands and coordination and speech. But as you've just heard, this condition does not stop her from living life at its fullest. And today we get to hear from her more of her inspiring journey. Wow. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you on the show. I've been stalking you on Twitter, and I just have to say you're such an incredible woman.
Thank you.
So thank you for being here. Now, speaking of your Twitter handle, your bio says that you are a necessary noisemaker, which at first I was like, did she misspell necessary, or was that actually supposed to be necessary? It's necessary, isn't it?
Necessary.
No, okay, what does that mean, necessary?
It's a long story.
Yeah?
But my whole idea was to become a noisemaker.
Okay.
Where I take important issues out, and and then I went to one forum, and a gentleman said I was a very sassy lady. So I wondered, okay, what does that mean?
Okay.
But he said, you're speaking with so much fire and passion, so you're sassy.
Necessary.
Yeah,
I love that.
necessary.
I really, really love that. And you can tell from your energy and demeanor, you're quite sassy. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first moment where you thought, I think I might be a little different?
Yeah. It was back when I was a teenager.
Okay.
And I knew I had a CP,
Yeah.
but it didn't quite teach me. So when I was a teenager, and when you become self-aware, and the other peers are more aware, so now you start knowing, why do people stare?
Right.
And why do people point at me? Why do children run away from me?
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I'm different.
Right.
Yeah.
Had your parents ever talked to you about it, or?
No.
No. So tell me about your upbringing, and specifically how your parents raised you.
Oh, my parents are amazing.
Yeah.
I think they brought me up just like any other child, So even until we grew up with my bunch of cousins, so we'd run off from there. The only one thing I remember is I'd fall a lot.
Okay.
So yeah, and I'll get sick quite a lot.
Yeah.
But my parents never sat me down to tell me, okay, you have CP. No.
Yeah.
I was just one of the kids in the compound.
Were they, did you ever sense that they were protective?
Very.
Okay.
Very. Because I didn't go anywhere without my mom or my dad. I was always near them.
Yeah.
And you see extra care, CP treatment is very expensive.
Oh, okay.
And my mom would make sure I would go for therapy 3 times a week.
Wow.
So yeah, you'd see they put in more work and energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And growing up, did you, you just now talked about falling a lot and getting sick, did you ever go through a phase of, say, why me? Why am I different?
Yeah, but that wasn't because of my condition.
Okay, why was it?
That was because of how people treated me and the responses I got from others. And even like small things made all the difference, like who played with me and being punished for not finishing your homework or not being able to join the scouts team.
Oh, okay.
The small things
Yeah.
add up to me question, okay,
Yeah.
why me, God? Out of all the people in the world,
Yeah.
why me, you know? And I would get into pity moments, but then I would go back home and my mom would be like, why not you? You know? Who else but you? Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. So was that a key person, or was your mom someone key in helping bring you out of those pity moments?
Yeah.
What else would you do to remind yourself that like your mom said, why not you?
What else? You think of other good things you can do instead. Yeah.
So tell me about that. What were the things that you enjoyed to do growing up?
I'd enjoy drawing
Okay.
and coloring
Yeah.
and writing. I'll do some poems, and even I go back to my journals when I was there, and I'm like, oh man, this is so deep. No one in the world should ever read this.
Oh, I wish I could get my hands on those journals. But I can see how that talent pulled through, because you are a phenomenal writer today. I was actually saying to Njeri that I've been reading. I was just going through all the posts that you've been putting, and you're so eloquent. And so, what is it that you think helped give you the foundation that made you so confident and so able, despite often being labeled as disabled?
Yeah. One, I'd listen my family, who are my biggest foundation.
Right.
Yeah. Another thing is I realized it's bigger than me.
Right. What do you mean by that?
I realized it's not about me. Because as soon as I'd go for therapy and another mother with a smaller baby would see me, and they'd be like, so my kid can get to Njeri's stage.
Yeah.
So I noticed, okay, I give people hope.
Right.
Just by being myself.
Right.
And make people happy just by being who I am.
Very inspiring,
so why
too.
not just be me?
Yeah. Did you have friends or family members or people around you who also had CP? Did you see yourself in others the same way others saw themselves in you?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where would you go to find some sort of mentorship or inspiration?
People like on TV, Nick Van Dijk, and I read a lot, so there's such a bad habit. But I read a lot, so I become the character.
I love that.
Yeah.
So inspiration you drew from anyone.
Yeah.
Who are your mentors?
Gosh, that's I think I have 100 mentors.
Okay, we've got time. Well, not much time, like a few minutes. But who are the people that you look up to, whether or not they have any kind of condition? Who are the people in this world that you think?
Number one, Maya Angelou.
That's a beautiful
all
one.
time.
Yeah, that's a beautiful one.
Yeah. There's one more, Judith Hoodman.
Okay.
And then there's Nick Van Dijk, of course. And in Kenya, I always admired Henry Waneke for some reason. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about your parents, because I'm sure that there's some parents who are watching right now whose child has just been diagnosed with cerebral palsy, or maybe they're just trying to come to terms with it. What is it that made your parents so spectacular in the way they raised you to become the confident woman that you are?
Yeah. After, it's very tough having a child disability. It's not an easy journey, but one thing I appreciate most is they accepted me from the word go. And I believe now that I know more about it, I believe it's not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
So the point that they stood up against the family and culture and traditions, and even their own expectations.
Right.
Because everyone expects a well baby. So, yeah, one thing I appreciate is accepted me. And when you accept, you don't hide your child.
Right.
You don't keep them away from treatment. You don't, you bring them out.
Right. And again, because for instance, they took you through therapy quite early, it really helped you along the way. Tell me about your cousins. You said that you grew up with your cousins. What was that like, being able to be around other children?
It was awesome.
Yeah?
Okay, but it had its moments.
In what way?
Because, cousins will run off and leave me.
That's true.
Yeah, but they are very protective of me since I was younger. So now I have cousins who are younger than me.
Yeah.
And I've noticed one thing, like, they have grown up, named me BCP.
Right.
So then, if we go to the playground to sing, that's when their friends would ask them, why does your cousin talk like that,
Yeah.
And then they'd actually wonder.
But before that, they didn't see anything other than Cousin Njeri. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Okay, I think we have to go on break now, but when we come back, I want to hear more about Njeri's journey in school and how she ended up having a bachelor's degree, which she's picking up that degree in October. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. I'm here with Njeri Maria, who has cerebral palsy, but let me tell you something, that has not stopped her from living her best life. She's done everything and anything that she's put her mind to, including graduating with a bachelor's degree, which, round of applause, we should have had confetti in the studio to celebrate. When are you actually going in for, when is their ceremony?
On the 26th of October.
So very, very close. But now I want to even understand how primary school was. So even before we jump into this degree, what was school like for you quite early on?
I think we'll start with kindergarten.
Okay, kindergarten, great.
Kindergarten was the best school of my whole life.
Really?
Yeah.
How
Can
so?
you imagine? Because I think kids just want to play, color, and sleep. So it's like,
color, sleep. I love that.
So it's like, what's a favorite color? Pink. Okay, we can be friends. So there's no bias, no judgment, nothing. Just clean. And I had two awesome teachers. and I thank them every day. And then primary school was a bit chaotic for me.
Why?
Because I was in the 844 system.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know how it is.
Right.
By the time you get into class 6, the work piles up and there's more pressure and there's more expectations.
Right.
And I had a bunch of teachers who I think they knew about cerebral palsy, but did not want to address cerebral palsy.
Okay.
So CP comes with learning difficulties sometimes. So I'm a very slow learner.
Okay.
But once I get the concept, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
So the teachers didn't have time for all that, or even time to keep up with me. So it became a very chaotic time.
Okay.
So I didn't end up doing well in school.
Okay.
Or even emotionally, yeah. But then I landed into a special integrated school.
Okay.
Which means it's a special school, but you get to learn. Yeah, that's one of the things we want to change in Kenya.
Yeah.
Is special schools. They're not learning schools. They're more vocational schools.
Right,
yeah.
right. But this one also focused on
Yeah,
learning, on teaching.
learning.
What was that also an 844 system?
No.
What?
It was an American
system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at which point did you then join this school?
After KCP.
After KCP. So
Yeah.
high school, you go to this new school. What was that like?
Awesome. I think I fitted in because they would say, okay, Maria, you're different.
Yeah.
Okay? You're slow, you're this, you're
Yeah.
this. But we will teach you how to cope with your slowness, or
Right.
how to cope with, yeah. So they taught me according to my speed, according to my abilities, and not according to my limits.
Oh, I love that. I want to focus on that for a little bit because there's obviously a clear difference between one set of teachers and the next. What was the actual learning day like? Was it just you and one-to-one teacher, or was it a classroom?
It was me in a classroom.
Okay.
But then time with the teachers.
Ah.
So when you're given an assignment to do, you have time with the teacher. Or when the teacher can see you're a bit slow, they take you out and teach you on your own and then put you back.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And it was a day school, I guess. So when you go back home, your parents, there must have been communication between the teacher and your parents, right? So that to make sure that everything is aligned.
Everything is okay.
Okay.
And the other good thing is about that is usually we are kept apart. But now you say you're mixing, but still they pull you out, then put you back in. So you also mix with other people.
What would you say was your greatest lesson in that period, or skills that you picked up?
Gosh, number one, speaking in public.
Okay.
I think before I went to that school, you wouldn't think I speak, because I was so threatened, because every time I spoke, people would turn to see who is speaking, or people would stop just to listen.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, speaking in public, I even became a school president.
What?
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Maria,
The
Njeri
first.
Maria, school president.
Yeah.
Hello. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So-
And it gave you an opportunity to shine.
Yeah,
To
and to
shine.
become a leader here.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so then now you finish that off and you join uni.
Yeah, but before uni, Sharon,
Yeah.
I took like about 2 years off.
Right, is that where you also
No,
backpacked? No?
That's another story.
Oh, okay.
But this one,
Yeah.
schools were a bit stubborn in Kenya
Oh.
because of CP. So they were like, we have never had someone with CP,
Oh.
so we can't accommodate your needs.
Right.
And I'm thinking, what needs
Wow.
do you
Yeah.
need to accommodate?
Yeah.
So me and my mom actually went to most of the unis
Yeah.
here in Kenya,
Yeah.
and it was the same response
Right.
all through. So I landed in Africa Nazarene
Mm-hmm.
and stayed there. They were so 50-50 about it.
Mm-hmm.
So they told me, okay, you can come through,
Yeah.
but you have to do pre-university first.
Okay.
And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I don't want to do
Right.
it. It's like going back
Yeah.
to high school,
Right.
you know? And then now, when I look back at it, I notice it wasn't to see if I can cope in school. It was more of them to see if they could cope with me in school.
Okay, so then you eventually find a university that is like, yes, Maria,
Yeah.
come on in. What degree did you end up taking?
Community development.
Why that?
Oh, number one, I love people.
Mm-hmm.
And I love talking to people and being with people. And I also love the idea of, you know how we say, don't give the people fish, teach them how to fish. That's community development.
Yeah, yeah.
Knowing how to build capacity and
Right.
empower
Yeah.
people and mobilize resources. So,
Okay, and how long was that degree?
for 4 years.
4 years. So you then tweeted,
Yeah.
I think it was last month, you said, it is official. I'm graduating with a bachelor's degree. Now, for a person with cerebral palsy in Kenya, that's
Yeah.
one of the biggest milestones.
Yeah.
What was it like getting to the finish line? What did it feel like?
Whoa, it's an overwhelming emotion because so many people said they couldn't do it.
Wow.
It was impossible.
Mm.
But I said she believed she could, and
And so
she did.
did. She believed she could, and so
Yeah.
she did.
So I'm still like
It's sinking in. I mean, graduation is, you haven't even walked down that aisle just
Yeah.
yet. So,
I don't know how that all will go. But yeah.
I can only imagine how proud your parents are. They must be overflowing with pride and joy just to see how many sort of caps that you just went and said, excuse me, what is this that you're putting on me? That's not my limit. No, thank you.
Yeah.
And you went over and above. What was the best part about uni for you?
Gosh, uni.
That's exactly how I'd respond. Gosh, uni. Oh, okay, but what was the
Uni
best part?
was the best. And
Really?
The people and the freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I, you know, it's funny. A lot of people, in fact, I think my mother as well would say that that was the best time of her life.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like uni was, I don't know. It's
Ish-ish?
just ish-ish.
Why?
I don't know, but it's great to see, to hear that you had a ball.
Yeah.
A ball. Mhm.
Not such a bad ball, yeah.
Okay.
We survived. breathe.
You survived. No, you didn't just survive. You
survived.
thrived.
We
You crossed the
thrived.
finish line. Where do you draw your strength from? The strength to surpass all these limits and caps that people put on you, to move past the whispers and the turning of heads. Where does that strength come from?
As I said before, it's bigger than me. It's no longer just about me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you do now?
Because I'm doing so much. I'm trying to manage my own foundation,
Okay.
Njeri Maria Foundation.
Yeah.
We are focusing a lot of awareness.
Okay.
I believe if everyone in Kenya would know about cerebral palsy, the stigma, the discrimination, it would all change, you know?
Right.
So I think, okay, how much awareness can we get
Right.
out into the world?
Yeah.
And also a lot of advocacy as well, and knowing what we are entitled to and how we can get what we have to get.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your vision for Njeri Maria Foundation?
Wow, that's a big one. But I think a world with no stigma and discrimination, where people just see you as you,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And an inclusive society. That's my biggest vision.
For the foundation.
Yeah.
And I guess you're tackling it more and more by just
Yeah.
raising awareness
But
and having the conversations.
Yeah, and just talking to people. And I said, not just talk,
Right.
but if we talk, I need to know you will change your mentality and
Yeah.
attitude towards people with different abilities.
I love that. People with different abilities,
Different
not disabilities.
Yes.
Okay, when we come back, we'll hear more from Njeri about how the society can actively do better and make sure that they change their mentality and attitudes. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. I'm joined by one incredible woman, Njeri Maria, whose story is like no other. Now, Njeri, you describe yourself as you've got the foundation. You said you've got the Njeri Maria Foundation, but you are also a cerebral palsy advocate. What does that role entail?
So being an advocate is a matter of knowing the rights of people with cerebral palsy.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Sharon, we still have so many kids with CP who are being hidden at home
Yeah.
and locked up, and so many are not getting therapy.
Yeah.
And
And this is physiotherapy? Okay. Yeah.
physio, occupational,
Okay.
speech therapy.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So many still are not going
Yeah.
to school,
Yeah.
and still school system is not so good here. So yeah, a lot of just going to stakeholders and telling them this is not working, but we can make it work, and giving them solution on how to make it work.
Okay. That just made me wonder, did you ever go back to the teachers in primary school
No.
and sort of just be like, hey, Miss So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so,
No.
this is how I feel like you could have helped me a little bit better?
Yeah.
Did you ever?
No, I think I haven't gotten the guts
Okay.
to go back.
Yeah.
And I made peace with them, but still, I think it would still be a process.
Right.
Because it was a lot to handle.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
And maybe they're watching this, and maybe not even them. Maybe there's other teachers who are watching this, other parents who are watching this, and they're understanding from you what kind of role they should be playing in a child's life, a child who's been diagnosed with CP. Speaking of which, what are some of the signs of a child with CP?
The first biggest sign we ask is, did the child cry at birth?
And why is that?
Because a lot of the children we see in Kenya suffer from prolonged labor.
Okay.
And medical negligence.
Yeah.
So by the time they're born, they're already exhausted.
Okay.
So most of them don't cry. And crying is usually a sign of like oxygen going to the brain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's one sign?
Yeah.
Okay.
The second sign will be how are the reflexes. You know, a baby, when they hear a sound, they move, or they turn their heads. Usually for CP, babies are very stiff or very floppy.
Okay.
So when you hold them, they can move as a baby would move.
Okay.
And also physical features. You can, cause like my hand, so it's a bit stiff. So if you notice, baby is folding one hand,
Right.
then
That's a sign.
Yeah.
And in that moment, what is the first thing that a parent should do?
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
I think, but don't be scared.
Yeah.
And then go see a pediatrician.
Pediatrician.
Yeah. Some pediatricians hide the fact, which is a big mishap.
Yeah.
So they don't tell the mom. They say, don't worry, they'll catch up.
Okay.
But I say, go, if you have a feeling that your baby is not okay, go see another pediatrician. And then you go see a neurologist.
Neurologist, okay. What are some of the biggest misconceptions about people with CP that you've come across?
One, they think it's a curse.
Right.
I even get stopped in Nairobi and go see this doctor.
No.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't need a doctor.
Wow.
A witch doctor.
Yeah,
Wow.
right.
So other people think it's a curse. It's a punishment from God. It's something the mom did. So I don't know why the mom did it, but and then also it's contagious.
Right,
That's
okay. So people don't know.
No.
People don't know. And with that said, what are some of the things that as a society we should be doing or be more aware of when it comes to dealing with people with different needs? Or different abilities rather. Different abilities.
I would say always keep in mind they're human first. They're just like you.
Right.
They have the same organs, the same feelings, the same mindset. So however you treat them, or however someone treats you and you feel it, it's the same way you feel it.
Yeah.
So having like a weak legs or a sloppy speech doesn't mean I'm less.
Right. Or that you don't feel.
Yeah.
Right.
So be very conscious about our feelings and our surroundings. Yeah.
I saw a tweet that you put out actually, and that was, it was a link to an article that said, if you're not sure about how to act around someone with any kind of condition or different abilities from you, ask.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you can do. Don't assume, ask. What are the appropriate terms to use? How do you want me to address you? Or do you want me to help you or not? Just ask.
And we are more comfortable just to tell you.
Yeah.
And I'll just tell you and have a laugh about it, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Another thing people do is a pity parties for us. Yeah, don't throw us pity parties.
Right.
Because we what do you say? We are qualified enough. So like when I go to school, I'm qualified enough. When I'm walking alone, I'm qualified enough. You know?
I love that, and it's true. It's true. I actually, on that note, there's a tweet that you put up, and I was like, wow, you guys, we should all just follow Njeri Maria on Twitter. But listen to this. She said, awareness plus inclusion plus basic dignity plus service equals the world I dream of. I love that. Awareness plus inclusion plus basic dignity plus service equals the world I dream of. Love that. So it was recently International Day of the Girl Child, and you put up a really good post or article up on the website that you write for, and it got me. I looked at that day in the sense of awareness in a completely different light, because what you also brought up is being more inclusive and aware of how to support not just girls, but also girls with different abilities or disabilities. What are your thoughts on that? How can people show up more for girls with different abilities?
Well, first, also by preserving their dignity. As they should. A lot of girls with disability get sexually discriminated, physically, and also I believe for any girl it's such a huge responsibility on their shoulders. So I count it as a double responsibility for them. So, and I don't know, I wouldn't go to gender equality because I'm a bit feminist, but the society needs to be more conscious because girls are the future women. Women are the future nations.
Wow. Girls are the future women, women are the future nations.
Whether you have a disability
or not. Okay. Now, as we wind up, I saw that there's this section on in the blogs that you write that's similar to sort of like taking stock, where you stop and you think, what am I doing? What am I into? So I'm going to ask you real quick, just to get a sense of who Njeri is outside of your advocacy and the foundation and the bachelor's degree. So, Njeri, what are you listening to right now?
Gosh, I'm listening to a lot of Cardi B.
Hey, Cardi B. Okay. Okay, I'm a Cardi B fan, actually. Cardi B or Nicki Minaj? Cardi B. I see you, girl. Okay, what are you watching?
Grey's Anatomy, season 14.
No, how are you still watching Grey's Anatomy like 20,000 years later?
It's on fire right about now.
One of my best friends is the same, and I'm like, who? What? How? How are you still on it? But she's obsessed. What are you currently learning?
Gosh, to be more. What do you say? To be more independent in the sense of creating my own life.
Okay.
And going after what I want.
Oh, Oh, isn't that what we should all be doing?
Yeah.
What are you currently reading? That's the last one.
Joel Austin,
Okay.
Breakout.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Last question
Yeah.
to you. What do you do for fun?
Oh man, yeah. I go ziplining.
Where have you been to the one at
the
the forest?
Yeah.
Creative Forest? It's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh yeah, and then I travel. I'm a travel addict.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I just do nothing.
That's fun. Just do nothing or zip line or, backpack across Europe for a year. All in a day's work. That's just Njeri Maria for you. Man, thank you so much. This has been so incredible. Just hearing about you and your journey. Are there any life mantras that you live by?
I believe nothing is impossible until it's done. Yeah.
Nothing is impossible until it's done.
It's done.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Your story is one of victory and success and power. And I hope that's all, that's what you got from this. And that we also learn as a society how to be more sensitive and aware. And if you're not sure what to do, ask or read up on it. Ignorance is not an excuse anymore.
It's not.
It's not an excuse. Okay, I'm now going to end today's show with our MCM. And today we celebrate rapper and philanthropist Holy Dave, aka David Muthengi, who founded the David Muthengi Foundation with the aim of giving back to the society. He chose to focus on education, citing that education plays a direct role in reducing poverty and enhancing economic development. The foundation has partnered up with the Braeside School Community Service Program to host a series of charity concerts raising support for purchasing special education learning materials for underprivileged students. So for that, Dave, you're the man. You're our MCM. Now, we're going to say goodbye, and we'll see you tomorrow for a spectacular show because we get to ask not one, not two, but a total of 3 local Kenyan entrepreneurs how they set up their businesses from the ground up. So you don't want to miss that. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. Goodbye, everybody.